Hello, hello, everybody. It's DJ Doc here. How are you doing? I hope everyone is doing fine. Y'all see, I'm up here messing up. I got Lori's name up there, but y'all know who I am. This is DJ Doc, and I'm so glad you're here with us today for Straight Talk. And I have two wonderful ladies that are coming on to be with me today, and I want you to know that they are so special to me. You have no idea what they mean to me. And I'm going to explain some of that to you, okay? And we're going to let you know exactly what we're doing today. But the big thing I want to make sure of is how's everyone's week been? How have you been doing? You know, I've been busy. We just went up to LA last on Sunday, and we did a opening movie premiere, which was fantastic. The movie was called Dying to Learn. And I got to tell you, that movie is fantastic. Make sure that you look for Dying to Learn so that you can see what's going on in our community. And it is all about school shootings. All right. You know that we love to support things that are true to life as well as inspirational, encouraging, thought provoking, and things of that nature. Okay. So what I want to do right now is I want to let you know some of the things that we're going to be talking about. Today we're going to be talking about mental health. And the biggest thing about mental health is that a lot of people don't recognize or accept it. And the big thing is a lot of people have um, been diagnosed with different things, and you'd be surprised some of the mental illnesses that are out there. And in reality, everybody at one point or another has truly suffered with a little mental illness. And I know most people are looking at this and are like, no, not me. I'm not having problems. I'm not, you know, once we get to talking a little bit about it, you will see. Yes, we all have moments that we deal with stuff. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you know about the individuals that are coming on with us today. Okay. Um, this young lady here, I'm going to let you know about her, as well as this other young lady. Okay. The young lady on the left, her name is Kaylee Carter. All right. And I want to read her bio. I have to tell you, her bio really touched me. And I want to make sure that you are touched as well by knowing who she is, a little bit about who she is, and you're going to get to meet her a little bit more in a little bit actually. Her name is Kaylee Carter, and she is 22 years old. All right. She's learned that life is strange and sometimes painful, but if she chooses to pay attention and learn, there's so much beauty that can be found. She says for a long time her life had been a constant internal war, a fight for survival versus herself. That is profound right there. All right. She says, but a way she found to help her win some of the battles is through art. She writes poetry and draws, does both to release the pain in a tangible form and as reminders to lift herself up. Now, along her journey, she shared some of her pieces with other people, and it's helped her to connect in a way that she thought she had lost. Okay. At 22, she never thought she'd make it this far. She says she almost didn't, but thanks to the support and help from so many people, she is here, and she's grateful for it every day. All right. And that's Miss Kaylee Carter. And I want to introduce you to the next lady here, who is Kimberly Carter. Now, that is the mother to Kaylee. All right. And just a real quick, Kim is a native Californian. She was born into an Air Force family and she moved around the States quite a bit. During her first 17 years, she received her degree in information systems from the University of Phoenix and after attending SDSU. Okay. Kim is easygoing and she's been married for 25 years to a man that I call my brother. So when I tell you that these ladies mean everything to me, I'm serious about that. I adopted her husband, he adopted me, and these two ladies have adopted me as well. So Kaylee, I consider my niece, and Kim is my sister-in-law. I love them dearly, dearly. Ladies, I want to say welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Happy Tuesday. Thank you,
Yes,
Thomas. And I,
yes.
I have to agree. We've been family for a minute.
Oh, yes. I was trying to think of how long it's been, and I keep running somewhere around almost 20 years. I'm thinking somewhere around 16 years or so, because I think it was about 2004 when I met you guys. But it's something to be with people for that long, and I think
Agreed.
it's fantastic. I think it's fantastic. Now, I want you to tell us a little bit, um, Kaylee, about why you wanted and agreed to come on to the show.
Well, I am participating this weekend, the 30th, in a 5K walk for the NAMI organization. And NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and they do so much around the country, offering so many different resources and supports for people who struggle with mental illness and their families. I just think they do so much good, and I want to give back to them in ways that they've given to me. And one way they can do that is helping to raise money.
Okay. And what I want you to do is, if you don't mind, I want you to tell us how they have assisted you, how they've aided you.
Well, when I was younger, early teens, I didn't know much about mental health or mental illness. I just knew I was struggling. And we actually had a club in my school, a suicide prevention club. Um, and I would go sometimes, kind of just because my friends were going, not because I really wanted to be there. Um, but I got this flyer one time that had resources on it, a list of phone numbers um, that people could reach out to if they were struggling. And one of them was the NAMI helpline. And I called it, and I've called it a couple times in my life. And each time I've been met with by a kind and supportive person who is willing to listen to what's going on and has walked me through these situations. Um, that I just felt like I needed to vent to somebody and get some help.
Hmm.
Um, and even now, NAMI is helping me, and they actually have their first independent living housing in San Diego.
Okay.
Um, so I'm benefiting from that too.
So when you say that you're benefiting from that, what do you mean?
Well, up until a few weeks ago, I've lived with my parents, and that was when I wasn't in different mental health facilities, whether it was hospitalizations or live in programs where they do therapy every day.
Hmm.
And I always found that when I came back home, I would kind of take a nosedive and I wouldn't be able to sustain the things that I learned in these programs, or really have the sense of independence that I felt like I needed to push me to do more for myself. And I was guided towards NAMI's independent living, which is a home where women stay. They have some for men too,
Hmm.
but it's a home where people can stay who are struggling with mental illness or substance abuse, and it's a safe space to live, with support, and they let you know of resources, but then you're also expected and held to a certain level of independence, chores and making sure that you're doing things day to day. And I've been here a couple weeks and I found it extremely beneficial. I've actually found a job. I still go to my group therapies, but and then I can come back here to a safe living environment where I can also feel like I'm doing things on my own.
And that's a key part of it. And one of the things that I wanted to put out there when I said that everybody deals with mental health at one point or another. If you don't know a lot of the definitions and the different illnesses that are out there, one of them that a lot of people have in general is anxiety. And on any given day, any of us can be anxious. We can be overwhelmed with stuff going on. It's just how we show it and how we handle it. You know, that's why I've talked to people and it's been like, I don't know what's going on with me. This is happening and so forth and whatnot. Yeah, we all get stressed. We all have to figure out how do we handle things in a day to day and so forth. So these are the things that when I say everybody's dealt with it one time or another, we can't always be happy, you know, and a lot of times people say if you're not happy, you're sad, but depression also is a part that comes into play, you know. And the big thing that you look at with the depression is if you're sleeping a lot, if you're sometimes eating more than you should, different things like this people go through. And a lot of times, the only difference is that they're not diagnosed. Okay, they're not diagnosed. Kim, I want you to talk with us a little bit about what you've seen um, with Kaylee and some of what you've gone through. And you can see I'm putting
Well,
up some of the, we've got some people that are chiming in on Facebook, and I'm putting up uh, their comments and so forth. So if anyone's got
okay,
questions, things of that nature, if you guys don't mind,
please.
we're going to have them ask, and we'll just go on. But go ahead and answer, Kim.
Okay. I think it took Rad's working today. That's Kaylee's dad. But it took he and I a long time to even just get it. If you haven't dealt with something or suffered with something or know that, haven't been in that boat, you just don't get it. So I will say we were slow as parents to even understand really what was going on. Kaylee was
Hmm.
a high achiever in sports, athletics, school, home life, church. So when we started seeing things, we just thought it's a snotty teenager. We didn't get it. We
Right.
absolutely didn't get it. And I don't even think she understood it fully. And even when she first started saying things, we still didn't get it. So we spent a lot of time learning, crying, getting educated, getting therapy. For us, NAMI also offers parent support groups. And I've gone to a number of those calls, and it makes a difference when you realize there are other parents watching their children suffer, which
Hmm.
is heartbreaking. Um, which is heartbreaking because Kaylee has told me I can't you can't fix it, mom. I would come in and ask, what can I do? What can I do? And it would sometimes frustrate her more. You can't fix this. And as a parent,
Right. And
yeah,
I think you guys know. I have a child that also has and suffers with mental illness, and it's very challenging. You know, he was fantastic in school and everything else, played instruments, still does, but it started to manifest itself around 14 years old. And like you said, a lot of times things get misdiagnosed because people feel, oh, they're just acting out, you know, or things are just, they don't want to talk about it and so forth. And part of what I wanted to do was, and I'm so proud of you, Kayla, for, saying, yes, I'll come on. I want to talk about this is I want you to know that you are an inspiration to a lot of people out there because there are so many people that look at the fact I can't talk to anyone. I can't tell anyone about this. A lot of times they're worried about the things of how people will feel about them, what they'll think about them, you know. And I know that that can be a challenge at times, and it can be even tenfold when you're dealing with different illnesses and so forth. Most of us that aren't dealing with it, we don't like to be talked about. We don't like to be made fun of. But it's there, and it's something that needs to be talked about and so forth. Now, one of the things I wanted to find out, because this, I said to your mom earlier, I said, sometimes um, artistic things come out when we least expect them, you know? And I remember the first time you showed me some of your poems, you were like, "Oh, I've been writing poems." I was like, "What? I didn't know you did that." You know, what made you start doing that?
Um, I started writing poetry in middle school, I want to say. Um, I just felt like there was something about writing what was in my head onto paper that made it make more sense.
Mm,
And in writing poetry, you can use so much different imagery and metaphors. And for things that I wasn't able to explain with in like a normal way, whatever that means, I was able to come up with a million metaphors for it and write it down onto paper. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh, yeah, this makes sense to me now. And I
mhm.
can see it. Um, and at first, it didn't have to do with like the struggle. It was just about my day to day life, school or nature or love, just whatever came to me. But I found it really helpful when I started struggling more because that was something that at first I had no idea how to explain to anyone.
Mhm.
And I could barely explain it to myself. And I was like, well, I know how to write. So let me try to write about it.
Now, my next question is, not only do you write poetry, but you draw, you know? I I was shocked when I first saw your first drawing. I'm like, "Wait a minute, where'd that come from?" You know? And I think I asked Ray, I said, "Did you know she could draw?" And he was like, "No, no." Did you know she could draw, Kim?
She was messing around in here in the house, and I was like, I don't understand this one, because I obviously have another kid who doesn't maybe draw quite as well as Kaylee does, as early as she did. So
Hmm.
as it just got better and more graphic and real, there were messages in that stuff. And even where Kaylee said, sometimes I didn't get what she said.
Right.
If I saw this thing that she would draw that showed tactile pain, I began to be able to be much more sympathetic with my daughter, and change my prayer life, and determine how to reach out when I would see her graphically put some of that down, or the pain she would write, or
Right.
it may not even be pain, just reality she would write.
Yeah, yeah. And I want you to know, just just right off the bat when I was saying that you're an inspiration. So, Charinda, she wrote, "You're being so authentic, and I thank you for sharing your journey. It helped me better understand a family member's mental illness better. Thank you for sharing your story." You know, the big thing that I love about having a platform to do things like this is when I see that one person has been helped, one, that's enough for me. I know that we can help more, but that right there is just, it's something that you've been able to do, and you should be proud. We've got people in here talking about proud of you, Wonder Woman. That's from Stephanie. You know, Wonder Woman. So it's just I said I wasn't earlier. I told Kim I was going through your bio, and I started crying on the first sentence, and I ran to the restroom, got some tissue, wiped my face. I was like, "What? Come on." And I said, "You got to read this because you got to get this into the program and everything else." And looking at the second sentence, I was like, "What the heck?" I'm crying some more. I had to go get some more tissue. I got to tell you, I wound up with the toilet paper roll sitting next to me to finish all of this, you know, because you're amazing. I know you, but um, it's just it's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, now, Kim, I want you to tell me what are some things now as a mother, because I know that there are parents out here who are looking, they're like, you know, my child is going through some stuff. I don't know how to help with that. What are some advice, or what are some words you can give some parents right now?
Be good quiet listeners. Be still. I think I was so busy trying to tap in and fix and touch and hug and talk to me. Me, 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 me. And that's probably what it sounded like half the time to Kaylee. Me, 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 me. She knew I loved her and was trying. She knew Rad loved her and was trying, but it
Hmm.
wasn't always what she needed. Sometimes she
Right.
needs somebody to listen. Early on, she really needed somebody to help her find the resources. Kaylee, did
Hmm.
you call the person? I mean, Kaylee was sharp. She used to take care of everything else. Did you call the lady back? She didn't have what it takes to call the lady back at that time. Her mind would tell her to, but maybe her body and her insides wouldn't. It took me a long time to understand that. You wrote it down. It's on the list. Why didn't you do it? Um, so doing reading and doing research, there are so many resources out there. And the minute a few people found out that Kaylee was struggling, she had a friend on her soccer team, that mom was struggling. We didn't even know it, right? But until you say
Right.
something, the next person doesn't know and you don't come together. So that
Right.
coming together makes a difference to help your children, um, to help your loved ones, whoever they are. And I have a community that prays. So once I started sharing that, I, my family, my children, my relatives, Kaylee, we have seen differences because I reached out to a group.
Hmm.
Being a good listener, reaching out and reading are my top three, probably.
Now, Kaylee, I want you to tell us, with mom talking about the listening piece, did you feel that um, she was finally getting what you needed as far as with help from her?
Honestly, not for a long time.
Okay.
Um, and that wasn't all on her. It was a two-sided thing. I mean, one, I had this expectation that she wasn't going to hear me anyway, so why talk? And
Hmm.
then sometimes when I actually would talk, maybe I feel like a big thing that hinders communication is assumptions. So I feel like sometimes there are assumptions being held coming into the conversation that was hindering from the actual point being gotten across. Um, but I actually did start noticing a difference when we were doing family therapy sessions in some of the programs I was in, and also when she started doing her own like support groups through NAMI or her prayer groups. And I feel like those things really strengthened our communication about
Hmm.
the harder stuff. Um, and now sometimes, yeah, I'm still in that place where, oh, I don't maybe want to say this to my mom because I don't want to hurt her, but I'm a lot more willing to because I know that she is going to be there to listen.
Right. Right. And the one thing that you said, which I know a lot of people need to hear, is the fact family counseling. When you're dealing with stuff
Mm-hmm.
like this, it's not just the individual that's going through things, it's the whole entire family. And to be able to understand, everybody needs to go. I just went through a first aid mental health um, program so that I could understand, identify mental health things that people are going through so I could help be a first aider, almost like CPR and things of that nature. And you learn some of the things that they do, that they don't do, the talking, the non-talking, verbal, non-verbal, and things of that nature. Now, the big thing that I also wanted to make sure of is that everyone knows Kaylee talked about the fact that she's doing the NAMI walk this weekend. Okay. She has been working towards donations, and I wanted to put up so that you guys can see her NAMI walk. The goal is 1,500. Her progress to date is 995. All right. If you want to donate to Kaylee, you can go ahead to the website namiwalks.org/participant/Kaylee hyphen Carter. I'll be putting that up throughout the show. So you can just send money there so that we can help her fulfill her goal and wish
So
to
proud.
help. Say again?
No, I was just saying I'm so proud of that young lady.
Oh, most definitely, without a doubt. And you know what's interesting is someone put up, while this is up, I'm gonna put up a couple of the comments. So someone said, "Can we see your first book of poetry?" That right there, Kaylee. I don't know if you're ready, but I can just tell you that you need to get ready, okay? Um, because things like this, that Kim, don't show off. Just because you know what, you can't say you got the first book. No, no, no. Don't be showing off. Y'all forgive her, y'all. You know she proud and whatnot. Forgive her. Um, and then some people were talking about so many people need to hear your story. Thank you for sharing yourself with everyone. You know, it's just a fact. Now, the one thing I wanted to do was go through some of the artwork. You know, after I got done reading and looking at the bio, I started looking at the artwork, and I was thrown. I was thrown by the artwork. Um, but I want to put this picture up because when you talk about the fact of being able to get on the same page, I just look at this and my heart just is beautiful, you know. To see the smiles on both your faces and everything else, and the flowers, you know. Um, I know that a lot of times people talk about um, there's the boys that love their mothers, but in this picture, I see the love, you know. I see the love. And the other picture that I loved was this one right here. Um, you all know I'm a photographer, and everybody sees things differently when they look at them. And what I see here, I don't see sadness. I see a beautiful young lady who has a determined look on her face. And that's what I get, you know. Others may get something else out of it, but I got to tell you what I get out of it. Now, what's interesting is I talked about uh, showing work, your artwork, and someone asked, "Can we see your art?" You know, and we're going to do that. We're going to do that right now. Now, I know that you can see this, and I want you to talk to us a little bit about the artwork because I know people see this, but I want them to hear, if you don't mind, what you were thinking of when you drew some of the artwork. So tell us a little bit about this one.
For this one, it started off, it was supposed to be a small, like, assignment piece of paper with a couple of affirmations on them, positive affirmations, which, if you don't know what they are, if you don't use them, positive affirmations are short statements that carry enough power to add something positive to your day. And it's usually something that may be hard to hear, but it's something that you need to hear. So when I got the assignment, I didn't want to write just five on a small piece of paper that I would throw in a drawer somewhere. I made a poster and I wrote the ones that I needed to hear the most. And the one right in the center, I am enough, is the one that I need to tell myself every single day.
Hmm.
Um, but I have this hanging in my room right above my bed so I can look at it all the time
And
because it
it's powerful, you know. Um, y'all know I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, yes, everywhere you go, people talk about affirmations. You know, give yourself a daily affirmation and things of that nature. I My mind's just running, and I'm gonna talk with y'all offline because there's some stuff that needs to happen. But all of the stuff you have on there, I'm looking at it. I deserve to be loved. You know, I have power over my path. Some of these are just powerful in its own right, but all of these together, I'm not alone. You know, it's okay to hope. This is just amazing. This is just amazing. And another person they came on and they were saying sharing your truth is healing. So happy for you, Kaylee. You know, these are things that you're touching people. You know, those that know you, I'm sure there's some that may not know you as well, but they are feeling this. They are feeling this. Okay, talk to us about this one because I this was something to me.
So these are 2 pages out of one of my art journals that I like to work in. And the page on the left says, "Life has a way of ripping you to pieces in order to show you that you're capable of putting yourself back together." And I took a picture of myself, um, and I ripped it up. And then I painted the cracks gold, um, because I was reminded of what, and when I saw that quote, it's not mine, it's a quote that I found. And it reminded me of how in Japan, they have this process of when a piece of pottery breaks, they put it back together and put gold leaf in the cracks. And in the end, it's 100 times more beautiful than it was in the beginning.
Oh,
So that's kind of what I wanted to depict there.
all right. I'm
And
glad I'm
then
not
on the right
on
side,
camera at the moment. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and then the right side um, just says "get a new perspective." And I think the 2 pages fit together because at first, when you look at all the pain and you feel like you're being torn apart left and right, um, you're gonna, if you keep working and you keep trying, the hope is to get to a point one day where you look at the you that you've created with a new perspective, and you can see how much you've grown. And that's the journey, and that's the hope.
And you know, these 2 pages, they go so well together because just looking at with you even explaining it more, it's what's got me over here. Um, and I love the get a new perspective, and perspective is upside down. You know, these two, yeah, you definitely need to have those together. Um, okay, all right. Let's hit a couple of more comments here. Norland, thank you, Kim, for your transparency. The road has not been easy, but your journey has helped us and others get through. You know, and Kim, like I said, you know, when I want you to give us a couple of words, what you're doing is helping others that may not be dealing with it themselves, but working and helping someone that is dealing with it. You know, we've got people right now applauding both of you, you know. Um, and I'm going through these because there's so many right now. I don't want to miss any of them, you know. Um, like I said, you never gave up, never gave up. Fantastic. And this one is true. Thanks for being honest and vulnerable. Okay, talk to us about this one.
So this quote I really love, "And here you are living despite it all." Um, I came across it in a poetry book, and I immediately was like, "Hey, that's me." That's so many of us. We're here living despite all of the mess.
Right.
And I, in the tree stump, it that's supposed to be me. One time when I was 13, I drew a bunch of tree stumps all over my homework because I felt like I identified with it.
Hmm.
Like I was a tree and I got cut down and now I'm just sitting there. But this picture is kind of a new life blooming out of that one that I thought I was supposed to have.
Okay.
Um, and then the elephant is just a happy little reminder of my grandmother because she loved elephants and she was a big supporter of me.
Okay. Couple of more comments. Right. These are family issues, you know. Um, and not that this was an issue with you drawing the elephant, but you brought family in that's helped, that's not here. Even with them not being here, it's still a help. And that's something that we need to remember when we look at memories and things of that nature. Um, this was one, they love the pictures, you know. They're talking about that they're beautiful. When we put up the photo of you two, you know, they were saying it was a beautiful photo. Okay. All right. Talk to us about
So
this one.
this one, this one is an intense depiction. Um, I actually was in the psychiatric ward of the hospital when I did this, and I was so thankful that they let me have my art journal and gave me some art supplies.
Hmm.
Um, but one day I was having a really, really rough day, and I felt like I was alone. I mean, there's people surrounding me, and I felt like I was completely alone. Um, I felt like I kept asking and begging people to help, and no one was able to give me answers. Um, so that's kind of what these 2 pages are depicting. It was that thought process, that kind of fear and helplessness that I was feeling.
Right. And you know, when I looked at this one, I was reading it and I read it over and over. And every time I read it in a different tonation, I guess you could say, um, because it was your way of saying exactly what's written. You know, I'm screaming at you for help. So it's powerful, powerful. Talk to us about this one.
So these two I did on 2 days where, okay, first I'm gonna prelude this one with my diagnosis, or one of my diagnoses is bipolar 2 disorder, which um, consists of depressive episodes as well as manic episodes, which are like elevated mood, little sleep, not eating, stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it's basically the low lows and then the high highs. So the left side, the dark purple side, is one of my low days. Um, I felt broken. I felt irreparably broken. It says I felt like there was nothing I could do. So like that was my depiction of me, was just this pieces that were supposed to fit together and they're just not coming, and they're cracked, and separated. And in the center I was writing down all the thoughts that were running through my head.
Okay.
Um, and then the other side with the scriptures on it was a better day, where I opened the Bible app on my phone and I was reading some of my favorite scriptures, and I was like, wow, these are telling me the exact opposite of the page that I did like 2 days ago.
Hmm.
And so I just put them all on that page so that these two sides that exist for me are right next to each other.
You know, like I said, I've been putting up all of the comments as well as we go through this, and it's one after another. They're talking about, you know, you're saving lives by telling your story with such authenticity. You know, we've got people that are just, the artwork is favorites and things of that nature. It's just, it's amazing. It's amazing. Talk to us about this.
Um, this one, I actually made it for my aunt.
Hmm.
I was staying at her house for like a couple weeks just because I don't know, I wanted to be there, be around more family. And she loves sunflowers, so that's the first thing I thought to draw. And then in the center, I was thinking, I was like, what am I gonna put here? I know I want to put a quote. Um, And then I thought of one that I had to tell myself a lot: the sun will rise and we will try again. Because I also just felt like she needed it that day too. And I feel like it's a really powerful quote because sometimes it feels like the day is going by and maybe I haven't gotten out of bed, or maybe I didn't do as much work as I should have done. Maybe I didn't put gas in my car. And it's all
Right.
these things that like we're telling ourselves we should have done and why didn't we do it? But to sit back and realize that, like, okay, the day is coming to an end, but tomorrow is a new one and I have the chance to do these things.
Yeah. And this one is definitely powerful because of the fact, as you said, we all go through it. And instead of beating ourselves up, the best way to look at it is, like you said, the sun will rise and we will try again. It doesn't mean that we have to be so hard on ourselves that we didn't accomplish something, but there's the ability to do it again. Okay. All right. Now, some of the next, I'll say the next five were really touched me. And I want you to go through and let us know about these as well.
This one, I was feeling really depressed when I did this one. It's a combination of a drawing and like watercolors.
Mhm.
And it was basically the little person at the bottom is me, and the hand that's is controlling that person like a marionette is uh for me depression, anxiety, mania, PTSD, stress, just all these things that I felt like were controlling me and I was no longer a my own person.
Hmm. And that's exactly when I was looking at it. Um, I came up with the same thing, that was you, and everything that's been you've been dealing with was controlling, like you said. Yeah, fantastic. Now this next one, I you got to explain this one. I mean, I like I said, artwork is beautiful because of the simple fact, one, it gets people to think, and it's a representation of things that we may not know exactly what, but it means something to each individual person. But tell us about this.
So to me, this was a depiction of my mental illnesses and the struggles kind of tearing my head apart. Some days it feels like I'm literally being split in half, and these struggles and these I depicted them as like these dark shadow demons residing in my head that are trying to make themselves real in my like surrounding life.
Hmm.
And in doing so, they would have to tear me apart.
Okay. You know, one thing that we got to talk about is, like Stephanie says here, the 2 Corinthians scriptures is one of her faves, with the pick and everything else. We've got people talking about that, they love everything that's going on. And one more person was saying, thank you for sharing you, because that's what you're doing right now. You're sharing you, and it's just touching so many people. So I too feel the same. Thank you. Okay. Now, this I want to
Uh,
think. Go ahead.
no, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say that I saw this as well as the other marionette, you know, um, from the aspect now, more or less, this puts it in my mind of true mental illness because of the brain.
Right. Yeah. So this is very similar to the other one. Um, my brain and what is controlling me, but the difference between this painting and the other drawing was that when I did this, I was actually feeling more mania symptoms, like I wasn't sleeping and they just focused all my energy into painting.
Hmm.
And I was thinking about the big picture of the world. And I was like, okay, so when it comes to me, my depression and all this stuff, it feels like it's taking control of my brain and it's moving it along to its agenda. But then I was like, what is it like for other people that maybe don't have mental illnesses? Maybe their shadow hand that's controlling their brain is money, or maybe it's fear,
Hmm.
or maybe it's, I don't know, greed. For different people, that shadowy hand could be so many different things that's taking control of your brain and just allowing that to run who you are.
Okay.
And the goal is to cut those strings.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now,
This
go ahead.
this one was a good day. I was feeling pretty balanced and was just kind of seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, sort of thing.
Hmm.
Um, and it says maybe I'm a phoenix. And on one page is burnt pages, kind of dark, um, these kind of more ominous colors. And then the other side has gold and feathers and bright colors. And from the ashes, I will rise, sort of thing, is
Hmm.
what I was going for. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And the biggest thing I like here is the word phoenix, because if most people don't know, phoenix usually depicts something that rises from the ashes and is born again. And that's exactly what I see and what I got out of that. Um, so that's why when I had your intro slide, I put on that phoenix, because um, I've seen you rise and so forth, and I just love it. Now, this one was my favorite because what it says is the fact. And go ahead and read. Go ahead and read it.
It says, the truth is, art and poetry should disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed.
When I read that, it blew my mind because of the simple fact it makes so much sense. And when I just think about that, and like you said, it should disturb the comfortable. So those that are comfortable thinking, hey, everything is good, I'm not affected, I don't have anything to worry about, but then it should comfort the disturbed, because I'm sure that there are individuals that looks at your paintings and some are like, oh my goodness, what is going on here? But just like with me, when I looked at them, I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is okay. I get the meaning behind this. I see what's meant by this. That's the thing that I said before, that art and poetry, a lot of people will get their own thoughts and ideas and things of that nature outside of it, you know. Um, but this was my favorite one, I have to say, because of that statement right there. Because of that statement. Now, I want to just ask, I don't know if you're able to see, have you had any more? Can we change our amounts here? Has anything popped off? You see anything happening?
Let me check real
Okay.
quick.
And while she's checking, what I want to do is, Miss Kim, I want you to talk to us about, I know you said you're proud, but I want you to really, really tell us how you're feeling.
I tell my kids since they were little to use your powers for good.
Hmm.
And Kaylee and I have talked about this even in her super, super, super dark times that she didn't care about using any powers for good. She wanted to stop suffering.
Right.
But Kaylee and I have seen over and over and over again the majority of her life she has been able to make a difference here or there. I mean, saying raggedy stuff that all kids do, but she also can make a difference.
Right.
Because when she was probably 2 years old, her grandmother was 4 years old, maybe. She was in the bed. Kaylee, at 5 years old, was willing to help change a grandmother's diaper.
Hmm.
And she's always been compassionate and empathetic, to the point, that it can be destructive, but to the bigger point that it can change other lives.
Right.
So I'm overwhelmed. It breaks my heart. I hate when she suffers, but I'm also overwhelmed. I think there's a song that says, I see you in your future and you look better. Katie didn't like it when I would say that sometimes. She really, really didn't. But it was true. It is true. And it will continue to be true.
Right. Right.
Um, it's not for nothing. It's not ever for nothing. So
Yeah.
proud. And I'm
Yeah.
overwhelmed because we are blessed. It's been bad. It's been really bad. Her brother's been sick. Her dad's had some health issues. It's been bad, but we're blessed. We're blessed for real.
And the one thing that somebody else had said, and I want to put it up again, was, your transparency is powerful. Your expressions in your art has a life-changing impact, you know. And I want to say that your transparency is powerful as well, Kim. Um, you know, I know that you guys are really blessed, that you're really proud, and, you know, to I think we lost Kaylee there. Hopefully she'll come back in. Um, to, be able to do all of this is something that is ideal, you know. Um, hopefully she'll there she is. Okay. Uh, but the biggest thing is, Kaylee, were you able to see, do we have any changes? Can I change the numbers?
I am I am now at $1,045.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. 1,045. Yes. So, the big thing um, is to be able to continue to do this. Now, I want to ask, is there a deadline for when this can be all collected, or
Um, I I'm not entirely sure. I want to say the 30th to be safe.
okay.
But I think they might take donations after the actual event.
Hmm.
But I want to say the 30th to be safe.
Okay. So once again, NamiWalks.org/participant/Kaylee Carter. Continue to send those donations in. This is definitely for a good cause, to be able to give back, which Kaylee wants to do, just to have it set in her mind that she wants to do that and help out. You know, um, you can see right there, people, I love y'all. You know, there's individuals talking about that they're so honored to know the Carter family. You know, you got your sister, Kim. Amen, sis. God has been faithful. You know, all of these positive comments. The one thing I want to say to you, Kaylee, is that you are touching people, and I know you may look at it like, I'm just going to come on. This is just me. I'm no one special. No, girl, you are special. You are special. From the moment you were born, okay, you are special. And I know that Rad is a man's man. But I know from day one, he was in there bawling like a baby. I don't care if he sees this and tries to tell me, no, I wasn't. Yes, you were. And to this day, you know, I'm sure that he bawls like a baby when it comes to you. So, I want you to just remember that no matter what you're going through. And one of the things to realize is that you need to be here because you are helping so many people, whether you know it or not. And I think it's fantastic. The big thing, people admire both of you. You're both special and courageous, and that is so true. So I want everyone to continue to send in your donations because this is something that needs to continue, and it will help Kaylee to meet her goal as well as do what she has been wanting to do for NAMI. Okay. Now, before we go, I want both of you ladies to tell me or leave us with a word. Okay. And Kaylee, I'm going to have you go last because you're the poet and you may not know it. Y'all like how I rhymed that? Did you?
You're amazing, Thomas.
Hey, hey, don't get me started. Okay. Um, Kim, I want you to tell us, I want you to leave everybody with something um, that they need to hear that will help them to help others going through this.
As hard as it is, try to be honest. Obviously, everybody can't handle the truth, right? Say that. Everybody can't handle the truth, but find your safe places and people because they are out here to be honest with and to be open with. You get so much further. Katie will tell you that she kept it like this for so long, and it's still hard. It's out of her nature, but when you do that, you get support. The amount of support and love and prayers and upholding that we have gotten, not just from God, because He holds us in His capable hands, but from our friends, from you, Thomas. You love our family. You're using your powers for good. So be compassionate to yourself and be able to be honest when you're either sharing your stuff or your people's stuff, and be careful with your words when you're dealing with people who are hurting, who are suffering, who have an illness or a sickness. You got to be careful with your words because words are so destructive.
Yes,
It can be so
yes,
destructive. You may be thinking you're doing good, but they can be destructive. So check in first before you sling out what you think you know,
right,
and use the
right.
resources.
That's fantastic. That's a really important piece. Use the resources. They are out there. You just have to search them out and find them. And sometimes you don't think that you need them, but this is not something you want to tackle on your own. Not
Mm-mm.
something. Now we'll go to the second poet, Miss Kaylee. I'm a
Okay.
poet along with you.
Me too. Me
But
too. Me too. Me too.
Kaylee, I want you to let everyone leave us with something that we need. That's what I want to say. I want you to leave us with something that we need. I know you need the world and you have it. We're giving it to you. But I want you to leave everybody with something that we need.
Okay. Um, okay. I I have a poem,
Okay.
and what I want to leave everybody with is just the fact that you are alive, and that means so much to everyone that surrounds you. So I wrote this poem when I realized that being alive is an important thing. It says, I am alive, so why settle for existence? Why be stuck just surviving? I am alive. I can place my hand on my chest and feel the steady thud of my heartbeat. I can take a deep breath and feel the air fill my lungs. I am alive. I feel fear, pain, shame, sorrow, but also love and gratitude. I cry and the tears always end up drying. I smile and laugh, and even when it doesn't last, I know it will happen again because things in life come and go. That's the experience. And I'm here, alive for it all. I choose life. I choose to really live. Why waste this experience? Why settle? Why just exist or even survive when I'm capable of more, when I am alive?
Okay. Kim, where you at? Get back on here. Don't be running. Okay. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm a little upset because it's kind of dusty in here. Lori hasn't dusted dust
Right,
in
right.
my eyes.
Dusty. It's dusty.
Um, okay. All right. I Whew. Okay. That right there, the hand clap. That just amazing. I definitely am not going to put myself in that poetic realm with you. No way, no how. You know, a couple of things that again people are saying. Yes, you are alive. Thank you, KK, for choosing life. People are saying awesome. They want to thank you so much for sharing. You know, and the one thing that was said, and I want to put it up, all of it because it's quite large, may not come up all the way, but I'm gonna read it. Kim, someone said, I feel your hurt. I feel you hurt and pain because Kaylee is an extension of you. But God has a plan for both of you. And because of this, you will continue to grow and grow stronger. They're proud of the both of you. You know, um, that's true right there.
Thank you, darling.
That's true right there. You know, someone talked about the fact, wow, you're so talented and brilliant, Miss Kaylee. You know, now
How do you know they
I would,
weren't talking to me, Thomas? I didn't.
well, I was gonna say that she gets it from her uncle here, but I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say that. But um, yes, I want to thank both of you ladies for coming on.
No,
You
thank you,
know
Thomas.
where my heart is for you guys. Um, we've always said, you ever need anything, let us know. We're there, and so forth. And I know you guys have extended things as well. Um, I'm gonna be talking to you both because I need to see if you're up to it, Kaylee, of us trying to get your work in front of other people. Um, I know a couple of people that know some uh, art locations and so forth, and I need to reach out, but I need to make sure that you guys are okay with that because just being here, um, it needs to be out there for others to see and hear. And I think that's something that we just need to do if you're up to it. And we'll talk about that. You don't need to, say yes right now and so forth. But um, thank you both for being on tonight. I
Thank you,
love you
baby.
dearly. And, once
I
again,
love
we've
you.
got individuals that are just boom, you know, the love, awesome. We are
And
alive.
Thomas, truly, thank you, Thomas. Obviously, Kaylee wouldn't say yes to most people, but she feels safe
Yeah.
with you because you are a trusted. You've proven yourself. You love us as a family. We know where your heart is. So I thank you for just doing this. And you hustled around. You made it happen. You have 1,000 things going on in rock life, the R.O.C life. If all of you don't know, revive our community. But thank you,
Yeah,
Thomas.
there's priorities, and this we made a priority. So we're blessed to have a platform to do it, and we wanted to make sure that we did that. So, ladies, thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Kayla, I love you. Kim, I love
Love
you.
you too.
All right, and we will
Proud
talk
of
with
you,
you
baby
guys
girl.
later. All righty,
You
Okay.
are a bright star, girl. Thank you, Thomas.
bye
Later.
bye. Everyone, I wanted to do this when Kaylee told me she was going to be at the NAMI walk. And she said she was raising funds and so forth. And my initial goal was to get her on here so we could help her raise funds and meet her goal and so forth. And I want everyone to continue to um, go out and donate. You know, as I said before, the website is namiwalks.org. Participant Kaylee Carter, it's there. This will be up in the morning on our YouTube, Rock Media YouTube channel. And I just want to make sure that you continue to do this. And I would say just keep giving, you know, it's for a good cause. Uh, you want to support this beautiful young lady and help her achieve the goal that she was trying to achieve. And that was to give back to Nami, who was given to her. All right. Um, as we said, what I love is the fact that we started at 9.95 and right now it's at 1,045. Thank you all for doing what you're doing. And I just want to say thank you all for that, taking care of my family. All right. Everyone, make sure if you're going through anything, reach out to somebody, anybody. And for those that are dealing with someone going through it, make sure you reach out and find the resources. Okay. I always make sure that you are aware if you need to try and figure out, well, how do we do that? Who do we contact? Things of that nature. You know what? I'll put it up there. You can reach out to us. All right. Thomas Howard, aka DJ Doc. There's my cell number. Call me. All right. 619-675-6726. Email djdocSD@gmail.com. If you need help, reach out. I'll help you get the help that you need. I do have some resources and so forth. I was running around. I wasn't able to do a slide for the resources today, but I have the resources if you need. So I want everyone to enjoy the rest of the night. Be blessed, and we love you. Good night.